Hi, you might notice that in Beata and I's videos that we're always barefoot. We believe that walking barefoot is really good for our bodies and really a good practice. It's a practice of mindfulness. You know, we hardly ever step on anything that hurts us because we're aware of where our feet are. We're aware of our environment.
What a great way to feel what's underfoot, right? What a great way to feel the ground and getting the sensations going through our feet. And also on the bottom of our feet, there are nerves that are connected to every single part of our body. So by stimulating those feet, those of you who have been around for a little while will remember those Masua sandals, right? There's probably a version of them around now. Take your shoes off. I almost said take your feet off. No, don't take your feet off. Take your shoes off sometimes and just go outside and explore the world with bare feet, and you'll be amazed at how much you can feel and how much of a more fulfilling experience it is to do that.
Yeah, it makes you walk totally differently, and I'm sure that it's more gentle on your knees and on your hips and on your body because you're placing your feet rather than just thumping them down on the ground.
There was a great little video with an egg-shaped head me talking about bare feet. And talking about that, I'm going to take you on a little tour just to really showcase the amount of textures and the sensory experience that you can get by going just a few hundred meters. Okay, so this is our little tour from where I live to the park that's not very far away. So here we go, tiles, straight onto a wooden floor. Then I've got some steps with edging on the steps, right? So all of a sudden, we've got a different texture underfoot, and it means that we're getting different sensory experiences. Our brain is actually growing through this. There are so many nerve endings that go from the bottom of our feet straight to every part of our body, but also to all the different parts of our brain. So walking around barefoot, here we go, a little log that I'm sure if I was a kid, and I am, so there we go, a little balance. I'd balance on it. You know, so as we walk barefoot, our brain is having to register all the different things that we're stepping on. Okay, as I walk, I might step on some of these seeds. I might come across some fallen leaves or even a stick. Okay, then I've got grass. And then there's this little gutter, so the grass is softer and I can feel that. I might step on a little branch. So I hope you can see how these experiences are actually helping to develop learning skills, right? It's because not just by living, not by teaching or having to do desk work, just by living and by doing things like experiencing, here we go, another surface that I walk on, okay, just down the road from where I am, literally out my back door, and then it might get a little bit sandy. Okay, so just by doing this, we're giving our brain experiences. We're giving our brain varied experiences. Here's another surface. Okay, and I bet that if we had shoes on, we wouldn't have even paid attention to the fact that there are so many different surfaces that we've just walked on. I'd say there's probably 8, 10 different things that I've just experienced, that my brain's had to assimilate, that my brain has had to process, right? And through that, I'm building brain connections. I'm building neural networks, which are then useful in every bit of learning that I'm doing in life. So if your kids are lacking executive function, or if they want to develop executive function, forward planning, okay, what is it? If I'm walking on something like this, and if I'm climbing a tree like this barefoot, I'm having to really plan where I'm going to plant my foot, because I can see which parts might hurt my foot. Okay, I might choose to not plant my foot on this sharp bit, or I might actually choose to use that as a bit of an anchor, right? And if I can't feel it at all, if I've got shoes on, then I don't get that experience. I don't get to have that extra level of processing, and I don't get those neural networks being built anywhere near to the level that they are if I don't have my shoes on. So get outdoors and do have a go. If you do wear shoes most of the time, have a go at going without them and just notice the difference. And same with your children. I know it can be challenging because kids can run around and run off and step on things, and it's a bit of a pain to dig things out from the bottom of the feet. But I'm almost certain most kids that run around barefoot very rarely get anything in the bottom of their feet because they very quickly learn to watch where they're stepping. And also the bottom of their feet become tougher, so things tend to not get in as much. Ed, for example, never wore shoes for years, and he can walk in a field of spikes and they actually won't go into the bottom of his feet, while they will enter mine, but not very deeply. Okay, but the point is that it's a good practice anyway to go out for at least a couple of minutes a day, more if you can, and experience the world through the sensation of the feet on the ground. Like this just feels beautiful, walking on these roots. It actually, I can feel that feeling go all through my body. I can feel like a calmness as my feet sit on the roots. And I also feel that my body wants me to move my feet in particular ways. So I'm actually drawn to move them to stimulate particular parts of my feet. Give it a go. Listen to your body and you'll see that there are bits that actually want to be stimulated. And who knows what that's doing, right? Our body is incredibly clever. So it could be why I'm very healthy at mid-age, for what some would call it, because my feet draw me to places that help to balance my body and help to balance the organs, help to bring health and vitality. So give it a go, and I'd love to hear about your experience. As always, I love for people to share, because then, you know, when you share, then it encourages other people to do it, because we have natural FOMO. So if we see other people doing stuff, we go, oh, I should do that too. So whenever you share, you're actually spreading the beauty of what you've experienced to others, because it then allows them to, it gets them out there to experience it as well, and it allows them to have the benefits.
Hi, you might notice that in Beata